Let me talk about Stephanie first. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Stephanie's brother. That wasn't a fact about Stephanie, that was a fact about me. Stephanie is, without a doubt, the most important person in my life. Aww. I know. Any single ladies here? Big points. Big points. Okay? It's over there. And the reason Stephanie's the hi, Mom. The reason Stephanie's the most important person in my life is because it's my opinion that she is the, without a doubt, absolute greatest woman in the world. Here, here. No, that deserves a bigger round of applause. For Mike's family, don't worry. I've got plenty for him. I just have to kind of catch up because he's been getting a lot of love the last 5 minutes. A few things, real quickly. So, it's a special connection that a brother and sister have. Number one, as a brother having an older sister, which is the greatest thing in the world. The younger sister is awful. I don't know, but I'm just assuming. The younger sister is awful, but the older sister is great because the older sister goes instantly into that mothering role to the fact where when I was born, she would go around to church calling me Stephen because that was the name that she had decided was the name for me. Told everyone that she had a brother named Stephen. And introducing me to the church as her baby brother. And it never stopped. It continued on throughout elementary, junior high, and high school with her taking care of me, introducing me to her older friends when they would come over for sleepovers, which was awesome. And when it's an older sister, so you can't get in trouble for that because they're older. And you know, when I started a business almost 9 years ago, and took a lot of risks. And as with any business, there were a lot of very, very low points where you know, you don't know where the next meal or dollar is coming from, and a lot of times where you're just sitting there and thinking, "Holy crap, I'm screwed." And having an older sister who cares not only about you, but about what it is that you've devoted your life to is something that goes beyond, it goes beyond anything that anyone can ever appreciate. And so that has very much been a huge part of our relationship and why you mean so much to me. So thank you for that. Yay. Yes. But enough about that selfish girl. Let's talk about Mike. It's enough about her. She got all the attention. She's the bride. Mike, well, let me just start back. So I have this funky kind of little quirk or rule for any one of my close friends when they start dating someone or any family member, is that I like to see what I can get away with and how poorly I can treat them for as long as I can treat them to see what they'll put up with. And it's a thing that actually has some meaning behind it because I like to see, you know, what they can take and what their sense of humor is like and what their temperament is like. So the first rule that I try to enact when, you know, with Mike in particular, is I don't like to refer to a person by their first name for at least 6 months. So when Stephanie started dating Mike, I don't know if he noticed this or not, but I never called him Mike. I don't know if he noticed this, but I would always refer to him as Stephanie's boyfriend, or hey you, how's it going? Things like that. And the reason is because I want to see what kind of temperament they have, what kind of sense of humor they have. And I don't know if Mike noticed it or not, but noticed that I was doing this, but I've been doing this long, and the great part about that is that he never let me know that he knew I was doing it, or he just accepted it and took it. And that was something really, really special. And the second part about what I did to Mike is, as the younger and only brother, is I wanted to see how many ways I could push him and prod at him and and poke at him and try to do things that might just annoy him, not because I want to be a jerk, but because I value my sister so much, and I value the sweet, loving, caring person that she is so much, that I need to make sure that if she's going to date someone, if she's going to marry someone, if she's going to devote the rest of her life to someone, that it's not going to be someone who's going to be selfish or take advantage of those things or have this temperament about themselves. Because as the younger brother, that's my responsibility, is to take advantage of those things and always think about themselves. So I would always constantly prod and push at Mike in a few different ways. Number one, again, like I said, not referring to him by his first name. Refusing to acknowledge things that he had done just to see. And the amazing thing about it with Mike always was that no matter what I do, no matter how outright mean I could be, which I fully acknowledge and did on purposely intention, not just to be a jerk, but to test him, is he always took it 100% in stride. And he always just smiled back at me and was just such a welcoming person. And that was something that little did I know, as I was trying to run my shtick or my game on him, he was actually running his game on me. And that game was love and kindness and acceptance and something really, really special.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. Football, we don't like to talk about those feelings. I know, but I'm talking about them now. So, first of all, that was something that I really, really cherished and admired about Mike and who he was and what he would put up with and how he would just go to great lengths to just be just a welcoming person. So over the course of 6 years...
6 3/4. 7, 8.
Well, you know, back in March it was 6 years. I'm getting up to the 6 3/4. They're dating and they're dating and they're dating, and to the point where even I'm kind of getting a little bit annoyed. Like, what the heck? All right, let's get this going here. Let's get married. All right, we're running past the dating point, and mine had already kind of basically passed all my tests. And so one evening I get an email from him, and he says, "Hey, I would like to take." He sends an email to myself and my dad. He says, "Hey, I would like to take you out to dinner. I have a quote-unquote certain matter I would like to discuss with you." And at this point, I pretty much understood what that certain matter was. And so I wrote back, "Okay, great. Well, we can meet Sunday night at my favorite restaurant, the Capitol Grill, which is a very expensive steakhouse in Orange County. And we can discuss this certain matter. I'm really looking forward to it." And I was actually joking. By this point, I actually liked the guy. But he responds back and he says, no, that's great. I would really love to be there. And that right there in itself is just to the extent of what a gentleman and what a welcoming and open person that Mike is that he would take something that I thought was just funny and over the top and a little bit, out of this world, and he would just take it and say, "Hey, if that's what you want, if that's what's important to you, absolutely, I am there, and let's do it." And so that was something that really impressed me. And I still hadn't decided if I was going to say, "Yes, you could ask my sister for her hand in marriage again." But that was something that it did all right. So then we get there, and, he lets us know, I would really like to propose to Stephanie, or I'm going to propose to Stephanie next week. And so the first thing I said is, "Okay, well, that's great. Well, how do you feel about the last name Van Tile/Sotelo? How does that sound?" And I was, of course, joking. That's just a jerk thing to say. But he says to me, "Oh, okay, yeah, if that's, sure." I said, "Mike, I'm kidding. That's absolutely not serious." But once again, it's just one of those things where Mike he met me where I was at, and he said, "Hey, if that's what's important to you, let's talk about that." And then I, did other things, like I asked him for 5 years of tax statements, and what his 15-year financial plan was, and all of these things, and just always meeting in the middle and being open and honest. And that was just, again, one of the special things about Mike that I really, really appreciate, and kind of one I knew. I've known for a lot longer than that, but it really cemented, what my feelings were about their relationship, and how I felt that going forward, what a success their relationship would be. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was something that I had, a wish that I had when I was many, many years younger. If you don't know, Stephanie is my older sister. I'm the youngest of the family. There's no one else. It's just Stephanie and I. And when I was about 6 or 7, I had got it in my mind that I really, really wanted a brother. And I came to my mom one day and I said, Mom, I want a baby brother. I need to have a brother. And being the smart, ingenious mom that she was, she figured out a way to talk me out of it, talking about how a baby brother's going to take away from the attention, from the presents, from the birthday gifts. I'm not going to be able to play as many sports because she's going to be busy, all of these things. And so I said, oh, okay, great. I'm just fine with Stephanie and I. And so Stephanie and I went on, just the two of us, and Stephanie taking care of me for the next many, many years. And so I've always been happy with that relationship. But the thing that I've really, really come to appreciate through Stephanie and Mike's relationship is that, that's me.
Yeah.
Jerk. Who is the jerk that didn't turn their cell phone on vibrate? The thing that I've really, really come to appreciate is that I actually now have a true brother in Mike. Yes.
He's not that little though, huh?
He's not that little. And with all the things that I've said that I've done to him, as a brother would do, and I didn't even know I was doing, I thought I was just being a jerk, the jerk brother who's giving his sister's boyfriend a hard time. It's really been the metamorphosis of building a relationship with a family member that I could have never imagined would be such a special part of not only my sister's life, but my life as well. And so, God, Jesus, just put it on vibrate already. I'm trying to get to the serious part here. But honestly, you know, I really just want to thank you for, number one, what you've done in being involved with my sister's life and how happy she is, and being patient with not only her and her idiosyncrasies and eccentricities, but myself, because that's not your responsibility. But you've taken it head on. But for, again, like I said, being the brother that I always wanted when I was younger, and now as an adult, you and I get the opportunity to have a special relationship and be brothers, and I'm so thankful for that, Mike. And I really, really appreciate that, and want you to know how excited that myself and my dad, my mother, my mom's family, my dad's family, my cousins, all of us are here to have you be a part of our family. Amen. Thank you so much. We're so, so happy for the two of you.